Hey there, it's me once again. Hope my connectivity is stable. All right, let's get started. I'm Hemchander from the Freshworks Developer Relations team, currently building an awesome developer community for our developers. I also make sure that the platform and products are developer friendly. Now, being a DevRel, we all can agree on a few similarities. As you can see, DevRel is fun and adventurous. That's granted. DevRels are also pivotal to the success of a platform or a product. It is our responsibility to ensure a warm and welcoming community. Now, that all comes under the part of the DevRel and it's super fun. However, we should be mindful of our human capabilities as well. Maybe at least until Elon Musk does something cool with Neuralink, AI. All right, let's take a look at how interesting possibilities can easily get overwhelming if we don't consider the human factor. Now, I have an illustration for you in this case. You see, this is me, uh, focused on the community here, and the docs, they are important, and so are the developer events and enablement sessions that we need to take care. And also include working with engineers. That is also an important part. But hold on, I got to manage SDKs, build tools, and manage outreach and do a bit of marketing as well. Now, that would be me if I don't have any tools. It's a very tough balancing act. We should not forget the fact that DevRel is multifaceted. We have different responsibilities and we need to manage time and energy accordingly. I mean, come on, even superheroes got tools. We definitely need to. Now that we have seen why tools are important for DevRels, let's also take a look at the DevRel tooling landscape. Now, all that's true that the DevRel tooling landscape is fragmented. I personally feel that we are spoiled for choices. At Freshworks Developer Relations, we follow the simple rule of asking why and figuring out how to use them much before we use the tool. Yes, it looks immensely obvious in the slide, just how and why. But there might be few things that we need to consider. Again, it is me with my doppelganger stickman. That guy ensures I don't decide based on FOMO or because it is cool. It is a good conscious checkpoint for me to have such a doppelganger, right? And there's also much bigger thing happening underneath. I mean, apart from the cartoon stuff. Uh, Asking why gives us the chance to reframe the challenge and forces us to think critically and deep. It also helps stay clear of productivity traps and aids in understanding the complete value proposition. I would like to quote Sam Altman here. So he said, "It doesn't matter how fast someone moves if it's in a worthless direction." This applies in the case of picking a tool as well, I would say, if there is no clear why. All right. So we have seen why is important. Now let's think about how to choose the tool, the how part. Let's say, for instance, this guy wants to go up. So there are a wide range of options, as you can see in the picture. Each of these is an experiment based on a certain hypothesis. And of course, in the end, we will have results that will help us identify the right process to achieve this particular objective, which is, going up. Experiments are important to understand the nature of the tool we need. Pair that with a powerful why, we actually have a solid foundation to make tooling decisions. It is also important that we don't bend our workflows according to the tool. It's better to pick a tool that fits our workflows. Now, does all of that matter? Absolutely yes. As DevRels, we might be already good at figuring out the technical parts. That part is something which we are comfortable. However, we need to invest enough time acquiring some of the key skills such as empathy, communication, and creativity. Now, that is exactly what you see in this slide as well. Now, this is based on the Developer Relations Report 2020. Now, all of these cannot be sustained or extracted robotically. Creativity cannot be forced and it requires its own time. There is no way to build empathy overnight. It is supposed to be a practice. The same applies to communicating with developers and understanding them. All of this requires quality time away from the mundane tasks that can very well be automated. Now, this is the true hidden benefit of tools. All right, it's story time. Let's see how we serve our developers with an amazing experience based on few key ingredients. Now, you have to also remember this. What worked for us may not exactly work for you, as not all DevRel teams have the same goals. However, we believe that the methodology is more or less the same. It all starts with the goal. We identify the factors that significantly influence the developer experience. It also helps to think of it like a pizza that is served to a developer, which is exactly what you saw in the slide as well. If the ingredients are good, the quality and taste will be also good. And here are the key ingredients in our case that applies to just Freshworks. Okay, uh, engagement, enablement, and support. So those are the ingredients for us, which greatly influence the developer experience. And getting them right is going to get a really good pizza delivered to the developer, at least metaphorically. Now, we found ourselves in a situation where we didn't have advantage of in-person interactions during this pandemic. Now, we can't brush aside engagement and cite COVID as a reason. In fact, it is required now more than ever. It is also, as you saw, one of the key ingredients in our developer relations program. It is a cornerstone for some of the key DevRel activities, including developer acquisition, awareness, and then retention. There are also strong human elements at play. We needed a powerful substitute for in-person organic interactions. We can't magically increase the attention span of our session listeners, right? So we don't want to send them to a territory of boredom either, with monologues of technical talks, and it's a big no-no. We clearly knew why tools are important in this scenario, and thus we have one part figured out. So how did we zero in on the tools that are required to achieve this? So that is the second part, obviously, right? So we now have the why. Now we need to figure out how we get there. Based on insights from our previous events, we already witnessed live experiments. One of the key insights is that developers tend to be participative naturally. We don't have to do anything at all. They will just participate out of their own interest. No amount of words will convince a developer compared to a line of code, an actual code, right? That is also the reason why developer marketing is a bit different. We also noticed that time to value played a huge role. If they can get to what they wanted to achieve in a short amount of time, they will explore more and are likely to be more productive, right? So good engagement tactic is also in showcasing the developer and their contributions in the spotlight. As you can see in the slide, we were able to narrow down to Glitch, Excalibur, Mentimeter, Kaut, or Slido for a highly engaging session. Now, in the slide, the window that you see there is the Glitch tool. It had the SDK and the sample app. The fun part is developers can hop in and try stuff almost instantly. It is exactly like a multiplayer gaming experience. You get credits for helping the presenter along with the coding challenge during the talk. Now that is much more fun than just listening, right? As expected, developers swiftly offered assistance and they started enjoying the sessions by contributing live. The use of these tools also had a synergistic effect. Here's the presenter cracking a design challenge on Excalibur with the participants providing inputs over Mentimeter, which is the one that we use for quiz and lively interactions. And at the end of the day, it actually worked. The retention rate was at 96% throughout the event. Participants of the session were highly contributive in the forum after the event. They felt valued, recognized, and realized the benefit of the feature then and there. It was on-spot experience. Now, that's like knocking several mangoes in one stone, right? Okay, maybe it's all complex. Here is a scientific diagram to explain how good DX helps the developer realize the value of a platform or product in a very short amount of time. As you can see here, good DX is like that jetpack. You just go up the y-axis and realize the value. Now, quoting Mary here, no one wants to spend a lot of time or effort setting up and learning a product that might not even do what it claims. I mean, if it were me, I would definitely be disappointed too. Okay, let's look at enablement now. It is a whole new world that requires much more thinking. Training developers and helping in real is actually so much fun. I would agree with you on that. But what about the others who are waiting for us? We clearly needed a tool that set a pathway for a developer to learn at their own convenience. And we also needed much more time to help the others as well so that we can scale. It should give them a clear sense of progress and direction objectively, regardless of their experience levels. So that was one of the whys for going for a tool than doing it manually or live. Most importantly, we wanted them to make efficient use of the resources that we had, the platform features especially. In a utopian world, the DX landscape will be silk smooth. However, in real life, the landscape is a bit different. Maybe let's take a closer look. So here's the Disney World, but only for developers. And the rides are the experiences they have with the product and the features. Here's the platform features lane. Now, in most cases, the complexity is only on this lane. It's pretty much one-dimensional. However, things get tricky when you add another dimension. This could be true for enterprises and companies that have products and platforms. As you can see, the complexity might be distributed, and it doesn't have to be even normally distributed. It can be, like any combination that we imagine. So think of this plane with categorical groups, which would kind of make a matrix, which would kind of like make a matrix. All right, here's a theme park that nobody asked. So we saw the complex parts. Now, these are the good parts in the park. It's all peaceful and the developer experience is so good, nobody complains, and everything goes as planned. And here are the not so good parts as well. So good enablement techniques will help the developer make the right choices easily. They don't have to dig through the documentation and spend a lot of time. Luckily, we had insights from the previous training sessions. Clear pathways and learning at one's own pace seem to be the right choice. And that's the how of the things. That is how exactly we wanted the tool to be. And now that we know that the how is figured out, we zeroed in on Google Code Labs. It was a very good choice. And every person can learn at their own convenience about the platform as if they were in one-on-one session. The contents are in a stepwise manner for them to easily understand and progress realistically. So that was the magic of Google Code Labs after figuring out the why and how part. Once they are an expert at it, they can also get certified. This was part of the flow which made their journey complete. We crafted the path for developers to succeed by default. And that is the most important piece in this flow. Support is one of the key ingredients, but let's not talk about the pending tickets for now. We'll get back to it soon. All right. Here's where we had to reframe the challenge. Thanks to the practice of asking why in the team, some common problems in the support would be developers having questions which are not addressed, lack of resources to address a huge way of questions, or a pile of pending tickets. And if something goes wonky or if something breaks in the platform, all hell breaks loose. Now, There is also this issue where metrics were deeply integrated based on the tool itself and not the process. Now, the traditional approach to this was to handle private support tickets in our case. It was hard to reuse good solutions and to collect feedback due to the missing organization. So, how do we find the right tool? Well, that's a bit tricky, right? We have to think why and we need to reframe the challenge. Now, here's an interesting picture after reframing it. Every developer event of us had dedicated time where app developers can work with engineers to solve a particular problem. We also tried out assisting over Slack and had a lot of data from the siloed support systems. And here's where it actually gets interesting. Had we not asked why, we would have optimized in the wrong direction. Most of the tickets could be resolved with a solution that was already given already. And hey, uh, developers would like to contribute to solving other problems. We also saw it in the enablement part, right? Sorry, engagement part, right? Now we know how this can be tackled. Breaking the silos and bringing them together seem to be the right how. And thus, our online community was born. You need to remember that this is a closely knit community with roots from originating from in-person events. As online forum brought them together and tackle the support challenge very well, we were able to scale along, this axis as well. Now we saw positive effects similar to the engagement tactic that we discussed before, as I mentioned earlier. We had ensured the separation of concerns. No, we didn't just discard the old support system outside of the thing. We actually had high priority issues that still went through a dedicated support route, and there were people who wanted to communicate directly with us, and hence we made the choice of using Calendly for that particular purpose, so that we can have quality time, and then we will also get to learn about developers. We will be able to understand them better. So that is another benefit. There is also more to this. Recently, we came across a great toolset. Grimoire Labs project is a part of the Community Health Analytics open source software. We were able to integrate our GitHub repositories, forum, and other touch points with Grimoire Lab tools and obtain a bird's eye view. This gave a unified view of what needs to improve, and this is key to helping us enhance those areas. Now there are a lot more tools out there, as you can see, and as I said earlier, we technically are spoiled for choices if we look deep enough. Now that's the key. So if a DevRel team as young as ours can achieve this, imagine what the entire DevRel community can do. If they get together and make the tooling landscape more powerful. So there's already a great initiative to list all necessary DevRel tools in one place, uh, which you can see in the slide. Feel free to contribute there or comment in the video if you have an interesting suggestion. Don't forget to check out the repository, which is the awesome DevRel collective. Uh, awesome DevRel tools, which you see in the bottom of the slide. Now that we know why, how, and dozen new tools to leverage, I hope you find it beneficial. Now, please feel free to share your suggestions or post your questions in the comments. Now, until then, peace. Bye-bye.